2 steps found at every playground in town. For accessibility? A stop on an exercise circuit. There may be other cardio-type apparatuses within 100 yards or so. No, it's for handicapped accessibility. Step tests are a single step and don't use rails. You're right, thank you. Love seeing people civil and just helping each other. It's a nice change of pace from what we usually see. Large metal tube with narrowed front end transported with police escort on an extended flatbed trailer. God damn, looks like a freaking turbine engine. Willing to bet that's a spindle that Boeing weaves the carbon fiber fuselage for the Dreamliner on. Note the outlines and punch-outs for windows and doors. These are found on street corners in Daytona Beach. They appear to just pump water up only for it to go immediately to the storm drain. I have seen a few different designs. They're timed valves to keep the water in the distribution lines from getting too old. When the water is in the pipe too long, the chlorine level drops too much and the water is unsafe. Source: I run water plants. MIL left this behind after a move. It was plastic wrapped, never used. It has a mesh cover, small holes, and a plunger that presses into neither of them. Wife and I are very confused. Looks like some kind of like tea maker, or like you put a thing in and you squeeze it for the essence. Solved. Also, she paid $37 for this plastic crap. That's crazy. And hey, what do you know? It's a tea strainer. Yeah, you put the bag in and you squeeze it, or you stir it in, or I don't know. I'm not. What do I look like, a tea expert? What is this object I found on a beach in Yorkshire that has holes in and feels like a mix between stone and plastic? Gonna sound weird, but please touch your tongue to it. If it feels like your tongue slightly sticks to it, it's gonna be made of bone. Absolutely 100% bone. Thank you. Old toothbrush? Victorian seems right. Thank you all so much. This is definitely it. Never crossed my mind that it could be this, but I'm now the proud owner of a Victorian's toothbrush and couldn't be more fascinated. Solved. And there they are. Yeah, that's, man, imagine finding a piece of that kind of history. I mean, that is old. I mean, you know, someone was brushing their teeth at the beach, I guess. Poorer people would have cleaned their teeth with a stick or marshmallow root or rag and soot. Yum. Solid metal removable spike in a New York hotel bathroom. Oh, huh. I have no idea why anyone would need that. Vase for a single flower? AKA bud vase. Makes sense to have it removable so you can dump it out and refill it with water. Oh, also a theft deterrent, since it's not very useful as a bud vase if you don't have a hole through your table. I'm curious as to why they designed it so that it could be used as a very effective weapon. It doesn't need to be so damn pointy. Gold spherical items with colored enamel. Ooh, those are looking pretty. They appear to be peaches. In Chinese symbolism, the peach is often a symbol of longevity and given as a wish for a long life. These Cloyson fruits are just small ornaments shared as gifts, or sold as tourist items and or in import stores. Apples and pears are also common. What is this ceramic device that is big enough to hold a bar of soap? It has a rectangle hole that goes through the bottom. It was located next to bathroom items like toothbrush holder and liquid soap dispenser. The parts around the rectangle hole seem to form stairs, not just a flat space between. Huh. Yeah, that's very peculiar. Got some cute little animals on it, though. It's an old holder for a cell phone while you were charging it. Flip phone would sit in like a chair, and the plug went in through the hole in the bottom. Oh. Well, I mean, hey, seems to work decently fine with new phones, so long as it's not too big, because they're all just getting so damn big these days. The way the phone sits in the product photo is unsettling. Wooden frames with holes at the end of a slide. This has to be some wood making shit, right? Or like something. From Alabama, and 3 of them? I'm going to guess it was used in some way for tobacco, putting a bundle through the hole and lop off the stems and tie them up. I can't see a way to use it for cotton. Wooden box with glass window approximately 8 inches tall, has a wooden flap on a hinge covering the glass. The back has a large round hole. What is this? Let us know if you can help us figure out this item's purpose. Thanks. This looks more like the housing for an old clock, but with the actual clock mechanism removed. The glass at the back was most likely there so you could see the movement of the clock. The round opening at the front would be an indication that this was a clock face. Yep, case for an old brass carriage clock. Solid feeling balls that chime or jingle at a low tone when you shake them. I relate. Ah, these look like those balls that you like you spin them and you move them in a circle in your hand. It's like a calming, stress-relieving meditation thing or something. Bayoting balls, they're used for stress and concentration, I think. Yeah. Bought a jean jacket at Target, then felt a ball of some kind sewn into the lining. Cut the lining and found this really lightweight, velvety soft ball with a slight groove in the top third that I couldn't crush in my hand? What is that? Oh my god, yeah, what the hell? Pumice stone for your stone-washed jeans. Probably wasn't supposed to go home with you. It's definitely not pumice stone, and I have a hard time imagining it being used for its abrasive properties unless it's at the end of its life and worn smooth. The outside feels really soft, and while it's a solid object that I can't crush with my bare hand, it does give a very slight squish. Not pumice, but a foam alternative to pumice for the stone wash process. There are countless of materials used to achieve varying levels of effect. What is this thing? Big metal rack, looks like for retail use, metal peg slots on the side, wheels on the bottom, nothing is retractable or detachable, found on the side of the road. I think it's missing the removable shelves, something like this. I think the metal colored vertical bars are just for decoration. They might match neighboring units that do have bars for hanging clothes. This unit was probably for holding folded clothes on shelves like t-shirts. Aha, yeah, seen plenty of these in stores. Metal spring clamp item, about 6 inches long, possible medical clamp or spreader, metal ring slides down to close the legs. It's a spring retractor. Once you've made an incision in the chest for thoracic surgery, you use this to hold the incision open. I've seen something similar called an Aberdeen's spring retractor. This is about 3 feet tall, made of solid wood. It doesn't weigh much though, maybe 5 or 10 pounds. The arm hanging down swings and the top is just a handle. It does not move. Very interesting. A boot puller. Damn it, I knew this one. Most elaborate boot puller I have seen, but a boot puller nonetheless. What is this tube that this Coast Guard guy sticks his gun into while loading it? Huh, that's interesting. Maybe to keep it from going off or something? In the Army, we call it a clearing station. If you were to have an unintentional discharge while clearing the weapon, the chamber would stop the bullet. 100% a clearing barrel. And like that other dude said, you are if you ND into one. Saw a dude get an Article 15 for putting a blank into one. Approximately 3.5 foot long metal cylinder with a handle found in woods of a park. Diameter a bit under a foot. What is this thing? Yeah, it's just a tube in the forest. Case to hold survey equipment? I'm going to say, what is this thing likely solved? It seems most likely it is a carrying case of some sort of what there may not be enough information. This user thought maybe a ventilation duct hose case, and this user suggested a Power Moon light case. Both of these seem like a possibility to me, but due to the lack of any numbering or lettering or labeling, I'm not sure we'll ever know. It's absolutely a carryable thing for holding other things inside. It seems to be made from 10-inch ductwork and quite well made at that. It could also be a chamber for steaming wood, but I would expect to see something for latching the lid on both sides of the open end, not just the one. What are these smaller doors inside our hotel bathroom door? Oh, maybe I don't know, you could open the top part and be like, hey guys, you guys got any toilet paper or napkins maybe? While many are saying Dutch door, this is actually called wicket. A Dutch door has a separate top and bottom half that open together or independently. A wicket is a door, or two in this case, inside of a door. They are used mainly in psych wards as a way to get into a room that may be barricaded. Heavy object, about 10 kilograms, 35 centimeters tall, 25 centimeters wide at top side, found in the Netherlands. That is wacky looking. I guess we'll find out. I have one just like this at work. It's very old and meant to use in production photography for printing works. With this tool, you could make a readable negative for use in printing instead of an unreadable negative a camera normally would produce, if that makes sense. I have failed to find the proper English term for it, but in Dutch it's called a Dakkant Spiegel. They were very expensive since they needed to be aligned perfectly. Just for fun, you can look into the center of the mirrors and see yourself like others see you. The image is flipped. What are these small bowls with holes in the bottom? I have no idea what to do with them. On first glance, my brain thinks of those little popper things, you turn them inside, or you invert them, I guess, you put them down and watch them pop. These are clearly not one of those. My child brain just thought of it, and I had to say something. They look like pots you would put succulents in to me. Solved. Now I have to convince my husband to buy me 12 succulents. Ladies, if your man doesn't get you 12 succulents, you need to find a new man. Yellowish powder on the inside of swimming suit. Oh, it looks like pollen everywhere. The stretchy part of the fabric is degrading and poking through. Can't be fixed, time for a new swimsuit. A closed glass cylinder filled with a clear liquid, 20 centimeters long, 4 centimeters wide, found at the bottom of a lake in Stockholm. It was overgrown with algae on the outside. Nothing grows on the inside, so the liquid is not water. No markings, it is straight, and the bubble is too big to come from a spirit level. I suspect it is a storm glass. Yep, I have one that is almost identical to this. Over years, and particularly if shaken, the liquid inside will become slightly cloudy and with a yellowish tinge. The point at the end is to hold it into a wooden base, which would normally be carved to fit. It even looks like there are some possible black flecks that could have been writing. They will often have instructions on how to read them printed on the glass. Pen with metal balls with numbers next to where the balls drop in. Some balls are gray, found in the attic. About 7 balls have a different color. Maybe it's a random generator to suggest numbers you fill in a lottery ticket. Example, 6 + 1 out of 49. Lotto pen. Diane gave me this many years ago. If you point the writing end up, all the balls move to an open area. Shake, put the ball point down, and the lottery picks show up in the window, taken for the Macro Mondays group theme of numbers. What is this fan-looking spinner thing? To keep flies off of food. I have several. Great for dining outside as your hand can easily stop the blades to reach under them. That actually sounds incredibly helpful. Seems nice to put over food that is out on a table. I see these weird metal boxes in UK pubs down by the bar, and other than impromptu chewing gum bins, what the heck are they? It's an ashtray, now a bin since the smoking ban. As a 40-year-old, it's amusing to me that there are now a generation of drinkers who don't recognize big pub ashtrays, and before that, they were spittoons. That's what I thought it was, you know, twink. Small fragrant cuboid? I don't know what that is, from Morocco, bought thinking it was soap. Oh, cuboid. Learn to spell. It might just be solid perfume. You just rub it on your skin. This, or leave it in your car as an air freshener. Oh, that's actually kind of smart. Handheld tool with wooden handle and hook-like scraper with an open metal pouch. It's a tool for an art known as batik. You fill the cup with molten wax and it drips out of the spout. Using that, you make patterns on fabric and then dye the fabric. The dye doesn't stain the fabric where the wax has been applied. Once you finish the dyeing, you iron the wax between sheets of material that absorb the wax. We used to do it at school. What's this peeled silver sheet thing inside of my microwave? Waveguide cover. No harm in it as it is, but they're cheap to replace. OP, this is the answer. However, I would recommend replacing it. It is designed to prevent the microwave radiation broadcasted by the magnetron back into the machine compartment where the magnetron resides and potentially damaging it or other components. Edit, after further research and other comments, the cover does protect the antenna from grease, water, and food particles, in addition to allow even distribution of microwave radiation to the food. Thanks for the other comments for clarification, always learning. This looks cast, not sure if it's aluminum, but it's light. I have a picture with my hand for size comparison. It was bought from a kitchen section at an estate sale and no one knew what it was for there. There's a divot in the center of the shape, but no markings anywhere. Okay, now this looks like some kind of lemon squeezer or a fruit squeezer. Aha, this is the Light and Mighty Lemon Squeeze Press. It was a bar utensil in the 80s. Bought a house with this glass structure in the backyard. No idea what it's supposed to be. It looks like a phone booth, or maybe something for like very tall plants. It's to grow mushrooms, called a fruiting house. It looks like there is even substrate there that you can use in growing mushrooms. Metal studs in exterior, street-facing walls seen all over Geneva, Switzerland. Example in photo, they are about 4 to 5 inches from the ground, tapered towards the wall. Styles differ a little, some have flatter ends. Surveyor from Germany here. These are used for height measurements, so-called leveling. A leveling rod is placed on top of these metal studs, which have a defined height. Using an optical level, you can determine height differences. Retired Texas surveyor here. We call it a benchmark. Hadn't seen one like that. Neat stuff.